Hey there, everybody. My name is Jimbo Marshall, and welcome to the Video Content Creation Lab. Yes, that's it, Expert Secrets. Welcome to the Video Content Creation Lab. Today is March 13th. I mean, where does the time go? Where does the time go? So I'm going to try to keep you here for about another 55 minutes. If you can't hang the whole time, or you're just like, this guy is not my style, I feel sorry for you because I'm going to be great. That's my commitment to you. All right. So I call this how to create profitable videos in 3 easy steps without being a tech wizard. Because what my goal is to show you is that when you learn a little bit of video editing, it will take you a long, long way. Because conceptually, this process that I'm going to teach you today, I have done it for the last solid 17 years. I've been doing it before that, but I didn't even really know it was a system. I was just kind of making it up. You know what I mean? And I was like, wait a minute, I keep doing the same thing over and over. Now, I've got a little bit of a fishing theme here today because the idea, there's a Chinese proverb that says something like, hey, if you shove a fish down a man's throat, he'll be full for a minute, but he'll be hungry tomorrow. If you teach that same man how to go out and catch those fish for himself, oh, now that's a life, right? And here's what I believe. If you can create consistent, authentic video content, you will become visible to your ideal clients and grow your business. And this is a skill that's learnable by anyone, right? By anyone can do this. Now, why video, right? Well, I believe, and I'm not some big guru. I don't know if you know me on here or you don't, but listen, I'm scrapping, right? You say who's on Jimbo's team? It's Jimbo leading the way, and I got a few freelancers, right, that help me supportively. But I don't want to come off as like, hey, I'm this big guru. I'll tell you why you should listen to me because I know a lot of those big gurus. But I want to start with why video first, and I believe there's three things that if you can get right in your business, and this is my commitment to my three things this year, you'll be okay, right? There's so much to do, and you know it. There's so much to learn and do. So that's why I value you being here so much. I don't take it for granted. But the three things I believe that you should be able to do for yourself doesn't mean that you do them all the time in your business by yourself, but the three things that I really believe you should understand how you could do, or what you could own, right? You could own the skill set, is visibility and lead generation. Visibility is video. Lead generation is and can be video. The second thing I believe every business owner, your coach, you're an entrepreneur, you're a consultant, you have to have is you have to have an offer and you have to know how to sell it, right? You have to have something, some sort of the service to sell, and you've got to be pretty good at sales. Now, me, I'm not amazing at sales. I've listened to a lot of sales. I've been around great salespeople. I know but you hold the tension, you do all those things. But by the end of it, I'm just like, hey, I don't know. Do you want it? I mean, is it in the budget? Can you put it in the budget? Here's why I think you should have it, right? But I'm not like a high pressure kind of a guy. And the third thing, and this has been monumental for me for the past almost a year now, is CRM management. So I'm in Kartra. You may be in ClickFunnels. You might be in Go High Level. You might be in MailChimp, whatever it is. But a deeper understanding of that CRM, I believe, is really important for every business owner because it's the way you get people in and out. And if you just outsource that thing, the CRM, and you're like, oh, I'm not a tech person because it's techy, it can get a little heady. But if you don't learn conceptually what's going on, a vendor can hold you hostage. And I don't want that for anyone, right? And the truth is, like, why I want to teach you how to do this video is, listen, I'm happy to sell you video services. I'm a working producer, right? Video guy. I produce a lot of people. I'm going to Charleston this weekend. I've got an attorney shoot all day Saturday. But it's a lot of money. I'm not cheap, and most people that know what they're doing, they they're gonna charge you, and then you don't know how to fish. So I wanna teach you how to make these short little videos, and really why I believe video is the way, aside from live speaking, something like this, video is the way to create the know, like, and truster. Know, like, and trust factor faster than anything else, right? Because when people watch enough of your videos, they just feel like they know you, right? And then when you show up in the same manner, it's like, oh my gosh, this is the answer, right? So really, video solves that number one thing, okay? And I would ask you, how many gurus do you know out there that don't use video? How many business owners don't use videos, right? Yes, Diana, I love these little chat things. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's awesome. So, hey, there's a lot of stats out there, so I'm not gonna bore you or take up a lot of time, but the stats don't lie. Obviously, some are stronger than others. I didn't take but 5 minutes to maybe look for this stuff and just see that, like, hey, the internet is filled with videos. And if we're not on board with this, it's really tough, right? And like I said before, there are two ways for you to create your video content. One is you just throw money at it, right? I've already been transparent with you. I don't have just tons of money to throw at my CRM, for example. So I hire a CRM helper for my Kartra. And every time she does something, she makes me a video and I learn how to do it. And most of the time nowadays, I don't go with I don't I don't just reach to her first. My first step is to try to figure it out for myself. Yeah, is it costing me more time? Yeah, it is. But I think it's time well spent right now. I really, really do, because again, I just don't want anybody holding me hostage on this stuff. And quite honestly, guys, if you're, same level as me, I want to be able to send out emails confident in knowing what I'm doing, right? So that's why I don't just throw money at that problem. So you could throw money at your video problem, right? To your issue. And if you have anywhere from, 30 to $60,000 a year, you could probably get it done really great. I'm around $60,000 a year for a once a month video shoot. It's fair price, right? Like, you get my strategy, you get, the equipment, all the editing, all that stuff. So it's a fair price for the business owner, but most people don't have 5K a month just to throw at that video solution, right? For the marketing effort. So the other way is to learn how to do it by yourself, right? Or on your own. And that's why you're here. So I want to reiterate and really make sure that you understand if you're in the right place, right? So you are in the right place. Oh my gosh, am I sharing my screen? I am not sharing my screen. Oh, guys, I am such a rookie sometimes. I am so sorry. Sometimes I am so crazy. Like, I get going. Here's all the slides you missed. You didn't miss much. Why video? Here's my silly stats. Okay. I am so sorry. Why would anybody ever do anything with me? Here are two ways for your video content creation, right? Now you can see it. This is where the good stuff happens. All right, this is for you if you're not making video. Video's complicated. Oh boy, Jimbo, when are you going to get it together? You freeze when you hit record, right? And you hate seeing yourself on camera. Well, here's the good news. If you hate seeing yourself on camera, you are not alone, my friend. None of us love to see ourselves on camera. Like, right? It's just nerve-wracking. And I think we always look a little bit better in our head. And then we see the picture or the video and we're like, really? That's what I got going on. All right. So the next way you know if you're in the right place, if you're tired of being the best kept secret, you know you're good at what you do, but you also are really understanding, like, visibility is the key, right? You can write all kinds of copy, but until you really put your face and your image and your voice out there, All the other coaches are doing it. And I'm assuming we've got a lot of coaches in here, right? And if you've got something that you're not a coach, thank you, Leah. Leah. Yeah, relatable. Boy, this technology sometimes. And you know what's so funny is everybody thinks I'm going to be like super tech savvy, right? And I am when it comes to a bunch of things, but not for everything, obviously. And then the third reason you know if this is for you or not, if you've got a little bit more time than money. And here's what I'm talking about: a couple of hours on the weekends, right? If you put 4 hours a month into learning what I'm going to teach you and just get the muscle built, your business would change. I know it for a fact. I mean, I've seen it happen too many times. So, in case you don't know me and you're wondering why the hell I'm here, my name is Jimbo Marshall. Despite the fact that I do not know how to use Zoom very effectively, I am legit. I have worked with all of these big names that you see here on this page and many more, over 3,000 entrepreneurs. I've directed so many people that I can't even imagine them all in a lineup. Like, this is how I've spent my career: directing, producing people, really using my strategy knowledge to help them create videos that are going to return their investment. So people like Mary Morrissey, David Nagel, JJ Virgin, Barry Baumgartner, Lisa Sasevich, Suzanne Evans, right? And I'm telling you this just because, like, hey, I want you to be able to trust who you're learning from today, right? Now, how videos work for me. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do all these things, but here's what I learned about in 2009. And here's what I'm going to be extremely transparent. I got into the coach world, as I affectionately call it. And my first dip into that arena was with a woman named Lisa Sasevich, right? And Lisa did her first event, and I showed up, and I was like, what am I seeing? This is awesome. And I joined her program because I thought, wow, she's put these many people into a program. Surely some of them need video, right? And I started doing pretty good, just being a service provider, right? And then I started working with a coach, and she said, you need to start making your own video content and get in front of the camera. And honestly, I was kind of scared because I didn't think people would like me. I thought I was too crazy. I thought I was too out there. And some days I still feel like I'm too out there. but but I took that advice and I did it, and it changed everything. And looking back, I created a whole bunch of characters, right? So you'll see Blades Greystone. This was my rock and roll mentor who just believes if you just had a good song from the 80s as your theme song that you could lean into, you'd be okay, right? He's like this. He was an ex roadie with the band ELO, who's one of my favorite groups. I just created this whole crazy story. So I started creating these crazy characters. I now know I was just afraid to be really me. So I thought if I put on costumes or wigs, right, it would kind of hide the effect. I also love playing dress up, if I'm being honest. I love outfits. I love having fun with this stuff because at the end of the day, I really believe if you can make somebody smile, you can transform their life. Nobody wants to buy depressing. I know a lot of us, yeah, Mia, yeah, funny always wins. I know a lot of us, we deal with some heavy topics, but I promise you, and I've worked with a lot of attorneys and, divorce attorneys and stuff like that, criminal law and, heavier topics. And, especially the family law people would go, hey, we got to be a little bit more serious. And I was like, I'm not saying you don't be serious, but there's a line in serious and depression. And when people buy from you, they're buying inspiration. They're buying a better tomorrow. So if you can't present that better tomorrow to them and make it seem and feel easy, it's harder to sell stuff. So nonetheless, I found my footing. I've been on stages and sold videos, sold over $8 million in video services throughout my career. And that's with big coaches. Suzanne Evans, her and I would tour the country and just make offers. And she was so good and I was funny enough that it always worked. Right. So I really do want you to understand, like, hey, you're getting this information from somebody that really understands this industry for sure. So the three easy steps that I want to walk you through today. Step number one is we're going to script outlines using AI. Okay, using AI. Step number two is I'm going to teach you how to shoot for the edit. This is a very specific process that when you learn this, it will be a game changer when it comes to video content creation because you'll understand how editing works. Now, what I would really love for you is you learn a bit of the editing, and someday that might be, in a week when you've kind of gotten your head around it, or in 6 months, when you start to build up some more business and you're like, hey, I can't afford my time to do the video editing because the editing can take some time. Not going to lie about that. I believe this application that I'm going to show you today is the fastest, easiest thing to use that I've ever seen. And in fact, in 20 plus years of making videos for people and businesses, it's not until the last year and a half that I ever would have done a webinar like this, because video editing has always been complicated and not user friendly, and that's changed today. So these are the three things that I am going to walk you through. And just so you know, I told you at the beginning, I do want to invite you to my upcoming event. It's called Ready for Your Close-Up. Should be a hyphen in that close-up. April 25, 26, and 27. So just kind of keep that in your mind, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end of the presentation. So why we make video? Let's not be confused. The first and foremost is profit and helping people. It is intended to be a profitable marketing asset, period, right? It's not about our egos. It's not about whether we like the way we look on video. It's not about I'll do video when I lose 20 pounds. My hair is getting done next month, and then I'll make my videos. Nobody cares. All of that stuff is ego driven. And listen, I have an ego. I get it. I understand, right? But what I would really want to ask you is your ego bigger than your desire to create the income and the impact that you want to create? Is your ego bigger than that? If your ego is bigger than that desire, it's going to be rough, because you're always going to be stopping yourself, whether it be with video, whether it be copy, whether it be with showing up to an event, any of those things. So you have to believe that your desire has to be bigger than your ego. And at the end of the day, nobody cares and nobody's waiting on us. Like if I wasn't on this webinar today, all of you guys would be just living your life and you'd be fine. Right? I mean, the world goes on, right? So on a scale of 1 to 10, I would love to hear in the chat, is this making sense? Is this something that you think, oh, this is good? I like this. I understand that video is an 8. Okay, I'll take an 8. I'll take an 8 all day long. A 10. All right, we got a 10. I love it. Great. A 9. Yeah. Hey, we'll take a 9. Anything over a 6 to me is I'm like sold. Okay. All right, great. And I'm asking you that because as we go along, I want you to go, all right, how could I see putting this into my business? Where could I, how could I see this working, right? So we're going to start with a simple tip video. Simple tip video. Okay. So there's several categories of videos, and there's like opt-ins, there's sales page videos, there's all these kinds of videos. But what I want to start with is something simple like a tip video. And I'm doing that because I'm assuming that a lot of you have not made videos on here before, right? Somebody may have made you videos, but if we're starting from the beginning, I want it to be easy. I want it as easy as can be, right? As easy as can be. So a tip video, I want you to think of what would your ideal right fit client like ask you? What is one tip that they could benefit from, right? So for me, It might be, one of the questions I would get a lot is, uh, what camera do I use? Is it okay to use my phone? Right? So if I'm making that tip video to answer that question, it may go something like, hey there, it's Jimbo Marshall. And one of the questions I get asked all the time is my phone good enough? I'm looking around for my phone. Where's my phone? Is my phone good enough to make my videos? And I say, absolutely yes. But I've got a camera that's even better and easier. It's called your computer. Yes, either a webcam or a webcam in your laptop. Start there. Right now, we're in a world where people aren't obsessed with the quality or the look of the video. They're hungry for the content and connection. So my tip for the day is don't let the equipment stop you. Just use your phone or your computer, right? That's a tip, right? So I want you to think about, and if you can, just jot a little note. What would be the first tip video that you might make, right? What would be that first tip video? Now, I don't need you to, uh, if you want, you can take a screenshot of this. But now here's what I'm doing, okay? I'm assuming we all have used ChatGPT or something like Claude or Descript, or I don't think it's Descript, or any other language model, right? I am a fan of Claude. I'm a fanboy of Claude. It's a lot like ChatGPT. ChatGPT is probably more versatile because of its access to the web, but nonetheless, I use Chat or Claude. This is the prompt that I would put into one of those language models. Write a short video script, right? For a tip type video for people who are struggling with video. Claude. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I guess you've never heard of it. Yes, that's right. Mia's got it. It's Claude.ai. That's so funny. Claude. Um, I help coaches, speakers. I understand digital marketing. Now, that prompt may even be too much. If you literally said, I'm an energy expert, can you write me a short video script for an energy expert, it's probably going to do okay. Now, if you're a little bit more advanced, you can do things like, I'm also uploading a video transcript from my last webinar. Use the tone and voice in my script. And you'll be surprised how good it can mimic what you're trying to do and how you might say things, right? So that is your prompt. Here is my script that it gave me back, right? Now, what I want you to focus on right now is the simplicity. And I want these scripts to be about 100, 125 words tops. Again, the reason is if I can teach you how to do short ones and we can get some completion in you, that's going to build up your confidence and you're going to be more likely to continue making videos. This is my script. Now, the truth is, it could be in 3 paragraphs. It could be in 2. You're going to see this video in just a second, and I'm going to walk you through the editing. But what I want to convey here is this. Right now, you aren't concerned about, is this perfect? And you're certainly not concerned about memorizing it. Because the idea is that the chat is going to give you a basic structure for your video in paragraphs, and each paragraph represents one edit. Now, that can change when we get into editing, and it does on this example, but typically speaking, if we write a 4-paragraph essay script, it's going to have 4 edits in that video. Now, the reason why this is so helpful and so conceptually just awesome is that it allows you to not have to memorize the script. It allows you to do 1 paragraph at a time. It allows you to mess up because we know ahead of time we're going to edit it. Because again, the other thing that I would hear from all of my clients in the past is I go and try to make my video and I get about 2 minutes in and then I choke and then I have to start over, right? This is a very common thing. Or they make a video that's 5 minutes long and they realize, oh my gosh, I've been kind of repeating myself. This thing doesn't, right? Doesn't have enough structure. And the truth is, right now, the two best ways to make money, live speaking, like I'm doing here, or at an event, in-person, virtual, or video content. That's what I believe are the fastest two paths, right? Because that's what gets you known and people by people. Well, in the live speaking situation, you've all raised your hand and hopefully you've kind of planned on, I'm going to be here for an hour, right? I'm volunteering my time. With video content, we don't have that privilege. So it needs to be short and tight. And the idea is we want to flood the social media markets, or streams, social media streams with our content, right? With short little videos. They just keep seeing our face, keep seeing our face. And then all of a sudden, you're an expert by perception alone. Like you can build all of these marketing assets and not have a business, and people would still think you were something because they don't know. They just know what they see. I'm not suggesting you do that. Right? I'm suggesting you actually help people and do something useful. But the truth is, its perception is what we're trying to create. So each paragraph represents an edit, right? So is that making sense? Can I just kind of get a thumbs up conceptually if this is kind of making sense? Okay, great. Love that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to have to share my whole desktop because we're going to, here's the thing. When we go into steps 2 and 3, thank you, Teresa. When we go into steps 2 and 3, we are going to kind of combine them together. So the second step here is shoot for the edit. Now, do you see my screen with me on it in a sweet 80s members only jacket? Is that what everybody sees? No? Dadgummit, Jimbo. It's the second time today. Nobody's going to trust you. All right. I know this has got to be the one. There we go. Is that right? Okay. Oh, Jippy. Yes, Laura, I will send you this if you email me, please. Thank you. Okay. Oh, Nishima. And sorry if I'm getting your name wrong. What do I mean by the edits? Great question. So I'm going to show you what I mean, but the edits would be something like this, just conceptually. If I wrote a video script and it had 3 different paragraphs, I'm going to say the first paragraph, I'm going to stop, I'm going to look at my script, then I'm going to go back to the recording and I'm going to shoot my paragraph. And if I mess up, I'm going to reshoot that paragraph. So those are edit points in between the paragraphs, right? So if the edits will be there based on the number of paragraphs, and it'll make a lot more sense, hopefully. But I love this question because sometimes, right? Jimbo at jimbomarshall.com if you need to get in touch with me. Jimbo at jimbomarshall.com. Oh, good. Makes sense. Okay. So here I am, and I'm making the video from this script. Okay. This is the script that I'm shooting here. Okay. This is the raw video. The raw video, few things I'm going to point out on this screen, because this is V'd, and I'm shooting for the edit, which is going to make sense once you see me, but I'm going to circle a few things on this screen and just put in questions if you're kind of getting lost. The tools you need to know, and this is why I love this program so much, are split. That cuts it, so that makes a cut in your footage. The zoom in and zoom out, which is a little bit, I've sold a program where I teach this to about 37 people, and I've learned that this tool is conceptually a little bit challenging to understand. But the idea with that zoom in, zoom out is just like you're zooming into the footage. You're getting a more closer view to that footage, or you can zoom out and see the entire film strip, right? Now, if you use Canva and you're like, even a 50% Canva user, like you can get a few things done, this is like video editing with Canva. Canva has a video editor, but it's terrible. The other tool, undo and redo, because hey, we all mess up and we want to undo and redo, right? When we're done with our video, we're here in the corner and we click done, and that takes us to the next phase. This thing right here, I'll give you that link later, yes. This thing right here, this blue thing with the little upside down triangle on it, I call it a scrub bar, because I'm old school video editor. That's a scrub bar, and I'll show you why that's important. Yes, Leah, email me jimbo@jimbomarshall.com. This is your play button, and this tells you how long the footage is, right? It goes to 1 minute and 53 right now. This right here is what we call a dynamic window. A dynamic window just means it changes depending on what's selected. Right over here, we just have our menu bar, and those are all the different options that we can do with the video. Now, all of these things just represent the numbers, right? It's 20 seconds, 25 seconds. This is our film strip. You can see me small here. You see this yellow line around the film strip. That means it's highlighted. Now, the other thing that's super important, that if you decide to learn how to do this, that will save you a lot of time, is understanding that these squiggly bars, these up and down darker blue bars, represent audio noise. They're called audio waveforms. Audio waveforms are simply the visual representation of audio. So you see where I have these moments where there's not the squigglies? That's me being quiet, where the squiggly bars are not. And I know it's a little hard to see. Let me see if I can't get there we go. I changed all my view, but let me delete these out of here real quick. So there's moments in this script that I'm not talking. My thoughts on using CapCut, Mia, is this application is easier. However, if you already know CapCut, the conceptual idea of shooting for the edit is exactly the same. This process will work regardless of what tool you use when you go to edit, okay? This application is called Veed.io, but don't worry about that right now. I'll give you the link later on, okay? Just watch this. So now I'm going to play this video, and I've got a little bit of an explanation here in the beginning. Okay, so now I'm going to make this script, right? I've got 2 paragraphs on the script. You can see that prompt. Ever go to make a video, you hit record? So I started. Do you see what happened when I started, the way that audio jumped, right? That's my visual clue, right? I'm looking for these visual clues, okay? I'm going to see these white little pause bars right here. When my mouse gets over them, do you see the way my mouse changes? So that allows me to click, hold, and drag, and I'm essentially getting rid of that first part of the footage. So I'm going to play it from here. Ever go to make a video, you hit record, and you just freeze up? Listen, I get it. My name is Jimbo Marshall. I've helped over 3,000 online entrepreneurs make their videos, and this is quite common. Now, here's my #1 tip to get over this. I want you to talk. Oh, chokey bow. Choke. But that's okay. Watch. Watch the way I pick up this edit. So I knew there was an edit point there, right? Because if you listen to my dialogue. Now, here's my #1 tip to get over this. Now, here's my #1 tip to get over this. I could pick up with an edit that says, my first tip is, my #1 tip is, the tip I always tell people is, because I'm essentially creating a transition from that first little paragraph or beat. Does that make sense? So when I start to rhythmically kind of feel these patterns in the video, and you will, if you haven't done it before, it'll be a little tricky, but you will, you'll start to recognize like, oh, I've got an edit point there. I can just pick up from that specific point. All right, so I'm gonna play.
I want you talk
Joke. So watch this.
tip to get over this.
I've just said get over this. I'm gonna split it. Now I've got two videos. Got two video clips, still all part of the same master video raw clip, but now it's just cut into two different pieces.
I want you talk. Watch the way I pick up this edit. I want you to talk.
Right? So I've said my tip. I'm going to click here. I see my white pause bars. Whoa, dragged it too much. Click, hold, and drag. This highlighted space, now it's highlighted with the blue. Delete, and it moves it over. So watch this. Play.
Now, here's my number one tip to get over this. I want you to talk to one.
Ta-da! I cut out that little mess up. All right? Okay, let me answer your questions. Regular Microsoft Clip, Chimp, or Zoom edits. Here's the rule. If you know how to use any other editing application, I want you to use that one. Conceptually, I want you to understand I'm shooting for the edit. And even if I do a paragraph perfectly, I pause, I gather myself, I look at my next paragraph, and then I continue. All right? Now, I'm not going to show you that yet. Another thing Russell says, he's like, you got to, when you listen to Perfect Webinar Secrets, he's like, don't teach them so much, just inspire them and tell them what's possible. I taught school for 8 years. I'm a teacher at heart. It's just hard for me to anyways. All right.
Person. That's right. Give them a name, and I want you to imagine you're sitting having a cup of coffee with them. Now, here's what happened.
So that's my first paragraph, but I broke it.
A cup of coffee with them.
Parts. S, right? Yes, Megan, I know we're givers, right? We're givers. So if we go back to the script, it was 2 paragraphs, but I basically took this first paragraph and made it into 2 parts. That's what I've done, right? So I've got first clip and second clip. Now I explain a little bit more about what I did.
Now, here's what happened. This was supposed to be two paragraphs, but I'm making it into 3 because I know there's an edit point right there. I kind of created it for myself.
So here I am again. I'm about to start talking, so I get my white pause bars. And here's the thing. If you're using Canva, you generally know that there's more than one way to do something with Canva stuff. It's the same with editing tools. 90% of the time in editing it's in editing applications, it's like there's more than one way to do it. So I could click, hold, and drag, and then delete, highlight, and then delete. I'm undoing here, right? Undo, undo. Or I could hit my S key for split and just delete that bad part out and then delete this part. That's just preference, right? Now I always want to play back my edits. I always want to play back my edits in that real time so that I know the edit is flowing smoothly. Makes sense? Which keys to split? It's just S right here, S. It's S or clicking on that button. So if you hold your mouse over any of these tools, you'll see that there's shortcuts in parentheses. I am a big fan of shortcuts, right? Because they help us. If we're dragging our mouse all the way around the screen, we are wasting time. And nobody's paying you to edit your own videos, right? So the faster we can get them done, the better. All right, so we play it back.
Having a cup of coffee with them. Here's the truth. When you make that mental switch, everything changes because
now, here's what I know as a shortcut. All of this is just me with the content. All I really need to do is get to where the pause starts, and I know that's where I end, right?
Going on in your video world.
Ta-da, split. Now, here's what I did in this video that I'm not going to show you. I've split it. I've hit my S tool. Nashima, I hope I'm saying your name right.
Now, I didn't love that.
So I didn't love that take, so I did an alternate take.
So I'm going to do
But
that part again.
this what it allows you to do, because sometimes we don't feel so confident with what we've just done. You know what I mean? How did that sound? So we would want to do another version of it, another take. Let me go back to your question up here, Nishima, because this was a really important thing. So when you hit record, your reach is far when you start talking. You hit record, your reach is far. Like something like this, you mean? I don't really know what you mean by that. I'm definitely using hand and body language. I want you to be expressive, right? Oh, here's my phone right here. Remember when I said I couldn't find my phone? Literally right in front of me. Sorry. Ooh. Here's why I want you to be super expressive. Most people, 99.9% of people, are going to watch your videos on a screen this big. You've got to be bigger than life, right? Because the screen's small. It's just perspective and psychology. All right. So, in sake of time, I'm going a little long. I'm going to delete this one out. And here's what I'm left with, guys. 3 edit points for that video. I'll click over here and I'll delete it so that it starts at 0, because if I didn't do that and I went to play it, I would have 10 seconds or so of black. So I need the video to start all the way to the left, right? So I'm just going to highlight that area, hit the delete key, and it jumps over. The next thing, and this is where I think Veed gets really cool, is I'm going to go to subtitles. Do you see the way my dynamic window changed? Auto subtitles. Watch what happens to that window when I click the film strip, right? So that's what I mean by dynamic window. The window is flexible depending on what is highlighted, right? So I'm going to go to subtitles, auto subtitle in English. It's going to generate the subtitles for me. And what's great about this application, Veed, is it's really smart. Like it gets the words 99% of the time really great. It can give you a transcript and you can change the style super easy. So the video transcripts are done, or the video subtitles are done. So now look at the way my dynamic window changed. This one has 2 windows in one window. So see the way the style is highlighted? So that style button refers to this. So watch, as I click these, it changes instantly, right? So let's say I love this one, but I'm like, oh, I don't like that green. I can literally just go edit, change that color to purple or whatever your brand color is, and now it's purple, right? Now watch what happens. Edit preset, watch the dynamic window change. I click on the subtitle, which is all this purple stuff down here is my words, right? I click on the subtitle and it goes to edit. This is where, when or if I find a mistake in the transcript, I can literally change it. I can literally change it, right? So I'm just kind of scroll them, give them a name. And I want you to imagine, right? Here's the truth. The other cool thing about this, guys, is I can literally now copy all of this. Let's just assume it's right. I can copy it and I can paste it into a chat bot, a chat GPT, and I can say, hey, take this video transcript and write me an email to send it out to my list. Take this transcript and write me some social media posts to go along with this video. So we're taking one piece of content and using AI to multiply its uses. I know, right? It's super cool. I love this stuff. So let's just assume it's right. And the next thing I love about Veed, and just so you know, I don't think I mentioned this, Veed has a free version, which I always encourage people to start there. And then the paid version is either $12 or $29 a month, right? I think that kind of money for this kind of power and simplicity is super worth it. Now we're going to go to audio. See the way my dynamic window changed, right? What I love about Veed is it has so much stock music ready to go. So check this out. I can go to categories. Let's just say I'm going to scroll down here and go to more. And these are all my categories recently used. I've got ambient. I'm going to shrink that up a little bit. I've got chill. Okay, you already used AI to create the script. Why would you again with the script? Here's why, Anada. And great question. So her question is, hey, if you've already used AI for the transcript, uh, why would you get the transcript again, essentially, right? You would do that because your first version from the AI is not necessarily what you ended up with. It's going to be generally the same, but it's not necessarily the transcript because remember, we're not worried about if we get that script 100% right. What we're concerned about is one, our performance, and two, did we get the idea of the script? Remember, your right fit clients, your ideal clients have not seen the script. So as long as we show up with a tip, they're going to be fine, right? And yes, what Nishima says is accurate. You could use it for emails. Now it's a little bit more specificity. Okay, so I hope that helps. So I'm going to go into music. When I find, I mean, there's so many categories, right? Inspiring, funny, I mean, all these things. I'll just hit play. Let's say I like this one. I hit plus and watch the way it's going to drop it into the timeline. You see this? Now, watch the way my dynamic window changes again. Ta-da, right? And look at the way this music keeps going on and on. So we need to shrink it back because otherwise the video would go black and the music would just keep playing, right? So it'd be a longer video just because of that music track. Now we're going to play it because 90% of the time, 99% of the time, the music comes in a little too loud. How do you know if the music's too loud? If there's kind of a competition between your voice and the music track, your music's too loud. The music is there to support the video, to be underneath.
Go to make a video, you hit record, and you just freeze up.
You hear the way that music is kind of competing? So it's at 10%. I'm going to take it to 3%. Hit return. Now I play it again to check it.
Listen, I get it. My name is Jimbo Marshall. I've helped over 3,000 online entrepreneurs make their videos, and this is quite common.
That's about perfect. When you're kind of trying to hear the music, that's where it needs to be, right? Because otherwise your music starts to dominate the video and you've kind of lost the point of the video. So a couple cool features, extra features, and then we're done. If I go to my text, right? I've got two kinds of text. This text is where I can add something and my scrub bars down here. I can just add this, pops it onto the screen, and I could say whatever my call to action is, right? So I could type that in there. Whatever my CTA was, book a call, use the calendar link, whatever it is, hit like, subscribe. There's also these fun little element things, right? With sound waves and emojis and shapes and stuff. So I could go into here and go like and subscribe, right? So you could drop this down there, right? And it'll drop this in on this as well, right? So it's kind of over it, right? So you could do all these kinds of things right in V, which is kind of cool, right? Then we can also go back to text. And the other kind of cool thing that it has here is these built-in, like what we would call in the business, like lower thirds or nameplates, right? So if I just click on one of these, right, it's going to drop it in. Come on, Veed. Don't make a fool out of me. Let me try to refresh my screen. When in doubt, refresh. All right, cool. So I'm going to go down to my titles here, click. Oh man, Veed, you are not making me happy today. I don't know what's happening here. Never had that not work. Nonetheless, it's supposed to drop a title down in there. I don't know if I need to restart my browser. I do need an update. I'm going to try not to be obsessed, but I can't promise you anything. Okay, I'm going to let it go. So let's say my video's done. That's a problem for another day. I'm going to click done. Burn subtitles is on. I'm going to go export video. And what export video is going to do is going to open up a new window. It should. Thank you, Veed. And it's doing what's called rendering. Essentially, that rendering process is just making the video, right? It's putting all the titles in there, it's putting the music in there, and it's making it all one unit, right? Now, a really cool thing about Veed is if you have your Facebook account like dialed in or signed up or connected, I could literally just click here and the post is ready to go, right? Which is kind of cool. Now, what I prefer people do is they click over here to the download, you go to MP4 and you download it to your computer, okay? And then you can upload it to wherever you want. Does that make sense? All right. Any quick questions that I may have missed on that? You can put them in the chat or raise your hand. I know I'm near the end of my time. Any questions? I know it's fast. I know it's a lot. I also know it's definitely possible. You just, you got to be committed to it, and you've got to figure out in your business what it is that, you believe will move the needle faster, all that kind of stuff. What I try to share when people start working with me, regarding use of the phone, sure, yes. Use your phone to record the videos. Here's what I do like, though. Oh, I don't even know. I'm a 56-year-old middle-aged guy. I hate doing stuff on my phone if I can do it on a computer. Just the screen size alone for me is like, so maybe, I don't know. I signed for your program through another speaker, and I'm wondering if I'm getting access. I don't think you're listed. You would definitely know if you've signed up. So I would have to definitely send me an email. I'm going to tell you about the event right now. But here's what I wanted to finish up saying, and thank you for that question, Anana. I want to make sure you get clarity around that. When you go to record your videos, record them all in one clip. So don't try to hit stop and start between each paragraph. Why, Jimbo? Well, you don't want to do that because when you go to edit your video, instead of one clip going up to Veed, you might have 5, 8 separate clips. And I can promise you at some point, and they won't be named. They won't be like 1, 2, 3, right? They will have a numbering system, but it'll be nerve-wracking. And it'll just be too much footage to keep up with. Does that make sense, everybody? I do want to give you one more little thing. And if you can't hang on with me, you miss my offer, I'm willing to be fine with that. I can't stand not teaching. In a perfect world, here's what I want you to be able to do. Thank you, Teresa. In a perfect world, I would want you to essentially hang up off after this call. Don't hang up now. Megan was like, yeah, out. I would want you to plan a session where you write all of your scripts. Get like at least 5 to 8 scripts written out, right? And that way, when you now set your next date to film the videos, when you have that date on your calendar to film the videos, you won't be wondering, what am I supposed to be doing? You will have already done that legwork. Does that make sense? Like you'll already have some structure there. Now, if you really want to be good at this and you're like, hey, I see that this could be a cool possibility for my business, here's how I would advise you to do it. Write one video script. And as soon as you're done writing it, try to film it. And then as soon as it's done filming, edit it. And then as soon as you're done editing it, I want you to film it again, same video script. And you're going to notice you get a little bit better. And I want you to edit it or shoot it and then edit it. And I would like for you to do that 3 to 5 times. I know that sounds crazy, but right now, your muscle is more important than trying to just get stuff out. If you take a little bit of time and build the muscle, then when you go to start pumping this stuff out, you'll just feel a lot more confident, right? Because you will have done the same video 3 to 4 times, 3 to 5 times, whatever it is. And by doing that over and over, you'll get used to the content. And now the content's not in your head. You're trying to be a better performer and you're trying to get faster at editing. Make sense? Hope. Okay, good. All right. So I appreciate you guys hanging with me. It really does mean a lot. And here's what I really want to impress upon you. Where am I at with my slides? Here we go. I'm not even going to ask you that. I had some social proof in here. And if you want some social proof, please go to my website. I mean, I've worked with some of the biggest of the bigs, but I've also worked with a ton of people that, not a lot of people have heard of, right? And I love them all the same, right? Everybody has a message. Everybody's trying to get something out there, right? So I'm hopeful that this workshop has been helpful for you. And I do really want to emphasize the cost of not taking action, right? Whether it's me or somebody else, however you do it, but you not making your video content is keeping your client stuck and you broke, unless you're just sitting on a pile of money. um, but I can tell you, even when you're getting clients, creating more video content, having the funnels for when they come in and sending them video content along the way, you create bigger fans. Your business isn't filled and you're continuously in a cycle of when I'm this, I've got to do this first. I've got to do that first, right? Thank you. I appreciate that. So here's what I believe. I said this in the beginning, but I really do believe if you can create consistent, authentic video content, you will become visible to your ideal clients and grow your business. And this skill is one that's learnable by anybody. All right. I'm kind of laughing because I'd been listening to Russell Brunson's webinar. Thank you, Marsha. I appreciate it. Webinar, and he basically says, what's the one big domino that you've got to make them believe? Right? What is the one big thing, right? So I really believe that. And in 3 days, here's what I truly believe, right? That I can equip you and get you ready to start making your video content, right? So this is all about my event. It's called Ready for Your Close-Up. It's April 25, 26, 27. And it's virtual. And you can go to the sales page, readyforyourcloseup.com. I do want you to, if you go to this and you're interested at all, if you're not, that's fine. Readyforyourcloseup.com. You want to put in the code early bird, and that will give you a discount. This is just a screenshot, but you'll save $48 off either one of these. I think I got to change that color. That general admission button is not good enough. So general admission is 72, VIP access is 129. VIP is, a lot of the standard stuff that you might see at virtual events. You get the recordings, you get extra time with me, yada, yada. I wrote this myself. Join me for a ridiculously fun, terrifying, growth-producing 3-day virtual experience where you'll learn to create, star in, and produce high-converting videos that turn viewers into clients, all without needing expensive equipment or a professional crew, all right? And really what we're going to do there is what we've done today, only we'll spend probably 3/4 of a day just on this process. You're going to be doing it. I'm going to make sure that everybody gets signed up for VEED ahead of time, and you're going to be making videos during the 3 days. We're not planning on sharing those with the world. We're just getting our muscles worked out, right? So once you click on the event page and you click that thing, you'll be taken to another page. Again, you want to put in the code earlybird and that coupon. You've got to click the blue check. If you don't click the blue check, you will not see the discount applied, right? And I don't want you to pay full price. Oh, great. Teresa, thank you for sharing. I hate it. You hate this, right? It's like, hey, that link's not working. I want to buy your stuff. How about go to this? I was trying to put the vanity link on there, but there's the actual Kartra page. If you click on that, Teresa, it should work just fine. Let's see what I have. Here's what I truly believe. And hopefully I've, proven to you that I'm not, super salesy and all that kind of stuff. But I really do believe the event will make you better. Like I've had so much access to these people that are doing $3 million launches all day long, right? And I'm going to be sharing all of that with you. What I do with all of my big guru clients. You are going to get the same. Thank you, Anada. I appreciate it. You are going to get the same access and the same processes that I use for them. You're going to have that, right? If you decide to sign up for the event today, I want to give you a little bonus. I had sold a program called My First Video, and I'm going to give you access to that virtual program. It's a video container that walks you through what we did here today, but a little bit more slowly, and you get footage and all that kind of stuff. It's a home buying link. Home buying link. I don't know what that means, but she left. Anyways, you're going to get a bonus editing session. That's towards the end of this month, where we're just going to get on and just spend more time in the application of Veed, and that's a value of $99.7. I get it. I thank you, Diana. I get it. Send me an email and I'll send you some referral links. That'd be great. Jimbo@jimbomarshall.com. And of course, if you have questions, reach out to me. I want to be able to help you. I also have a Facebook group, a video Facebook group that I can share if you are interested in joining. And essentially what I do in there is comment on people's videos, and people ask me about scripts and whatever else. So if that would be a benefit, you can join me on that page there. There's another testimonial. I'm running really far behind, sorry. So I'm just going to skip through a couple of these things. Ready for your close-up. Oh, that was it.